Welcome, dear dreamer. Tonight we slip between the seams of reality and shadow, a place where the forgotten remain, where silence is louder than screams. Settle into the hush of your room, dim the world beyond, and drift with me into the abandoned asylum, known only in whispers as Black Hollow. They said it was shut down decades ago. They said the patients were transferred. They said a lot of things. But no one ever mentions the girl who never left. Dr. Elias Crane, a criminal psychologist known for dissecting the most twisted minds, receives an encrypted letter. It's unsigned but mentions a patient at the long-defunct Black Hollow Asylum. The letter simply reads, "She's still here, and she remembers everything." Haunted by his past failure involving a patient who committed suicide, Elias takes the bait. He arrives in the nearby town of Marrow's End, an eerie village that seems lost in time. Locals avoid eye contact, and when asked about Black Hollow, they either deflect or grow visibly shaken. He checks into a crumbling inn. The innkeeper, an old woman named Mildred, speaks in riddles and warns Elias. Some things don't like being found, but Elias is driven, not by curiosity but guilt. He explores the area's archives and learns the asylum was built atop an ancient burial ground, long before it ever became a hospital. There were disappearances even then. Records show that whenever Black Hollow expands, people vanish, and it always expands when someone starts looking for it. After bribing a local groundskeeper, Elias gains access to the perimeter. Overgrown vines clutch the rusted gates, like fingers trying to keep something in or out. Inside, he finds a ruin, but strangely, some areas seem preserved. Lights flicker in hallways without power. He finds patient logs still intact. The last entry, patient number 39, Lila Grace Thorne. Her file is stamped, "Non-released, do not transfer, do not forget." He hears a music box playing somewhere deep inside. Elias begins to experience time dislocation. He steps into a hallway and exits somewhere completely different. Rooms rearrange, his wristwatch spins erratically. Photographs on the wall show him standing in places he hasn't visited yet. The asylum seems to know him. Doors open without touch. One whispers his name. The air vibrates when he speaks too loud. Voices mimic his tone. A painting changes expression when he walks by. He uncovers tapes featuring Dr. Helen Voss's voice speaking to Lila. Lila predicts future events, reveals unsolved crimes, and repeats one cryptic line. "He never left. He wears your face now." Elias begins hallucinating. Shadowy figures watching from corners, whispers in voices he thought were gone. His childhood voice, his mother's laughter, the sound of a shovel digging. In a therapy room, Elias finds rows of dolls dressed in staff uniforms, each with pins in the chest and bloodstains beneath. One has his face stitched onto it. In another, a child's voice calls his name, then screams when he answers. A mirror reflects not his face, but a mask. When he breaks it, he bleeds. At night, he dreams of a spiral staircase that leads endlessly downward. In the dreams, Lila stands at the bottom, eyes white, lips moving silently. One night, she speaks clearly. "You don't remember the fire, do you?" Elias visits the local library and meets Agnes, a retired nurse. She admits the asylum housed a division called the Cognitum Program, which studied and manipulated psychic trauma. Lila was the focus of those experiments. Agnes provides Elias with a locked journal written by Dr. Voss, only to vanish later. Her home is found ransacked. A fresh page from Voss's journal is nailed to her door. "You will become the next variable." Elias finds a recording of Voss's final session with Lila. It ends with screaming. The tape burns in the player despite having no power source. He discovers a staircase in the crematorium that descends below the facility. The air is wet, the walls lined with teeth and hair. He finds dozens of sealed doors marked with arcane symbols. Behind one, he hears breathing. When he opens it, there's only a chair facing away. Someone sits there. It's Elias. The duplicate whispers, "I died here. Now you're next." Beneath the asylum lies the Red Room, its walls pulsing like muscle. Drawings line the interior, Lila's depictions of Elias, caught in various moments that haven't happened yet. There's a photo pinned to the wall. Elias is in it. So is Dr. Voss. So is Lila. The timestamp is from 22 years ago. Elias locates a sealed cabinet labeled Archive D39. Inside, VHS tapes, surgical records, and an unmarked folder. The folder contains neural maps, surgical diagrams, and a birth certificate with Elias's name marked Property of Hollow Division. He realizes he was born there. He was never an outsider. He was part of the experiment. He might still be in it. He wakes in his hotel with bloodied hands and the mirror in his room shattered. A phrase is written across the ceiling. Return to the origin. The innkeeper is gone. The building is empty. Outside, no one remembers who Elias is. Lila appears in visions, walking backward through the halls. As she moves, time itself seems to rewind. Doors seal, vines retreat, lights brighten. She speaks, but her voice echoes in Elias's mind, not his ears. She says, "I'm not the patient. I'm the cure." Reality unravels. Elias sees himself committing acts he doesn't remember. He sees Voss injecting Lila with a dark fluid. He sees Agnes screaming in a padded cell. He sees the fire. He sees himself lighting the match. He relives different lives, each lasting only minutes. In one, he's the asylum director. In another, he's locked in a cage. In another, he's buried alive. In one, he sees the world only through Lila's eyes, and he watches as doctors place her in ice, as they whisper about unlocking the human mind by breaking it completely. He finds himself in a mirrored labyrinth where every reflection is a different truth. Some show him harming others. One shows him becoming Lila. Another shows them merging into a single, flickering figure. Agnes is found wandering the woods, catatonic. Before she's taken away, she mutters, "She never left. She was waiting for him." Elias is committed to the Renwick Psychiatric Center. But at night, he hears the lullaby, always the same music box, always the same hum. A new doctor enters. She hums the tune. It's Lila. He escapes again, driven by dreams. Black Hollow now exists only as a scorched crater. Yet at midnight, the ground pulses. The asylum rebuilds itself before his eyes. Stone by stone, brick by brick, door by door. Inside, time fractures. He sees staff long dead wandering the halls. A nurse floats above the ground, whispering his childhood name. A child with no face follows him, holding a note that reads, "He made us forget." He enters a classroom filled with white chairs. Each holds a version of him. They speak in unison. "We remember, we remember, we remember." One version stands, bleeding from the eyes, and says, "You were the control group." The final descent leads to the core, a pulsating psychic nexus. Lila waits. She shows him his mind as a maze. At its center is a locked door. 1,000 keys float in the air. Each is a memory. She says, "This is where they put it, your truth." He opens the door and screams. The sound never ends. He sees the experiment. He sees the lie. He was Lila's twin. He was split from her to contain what they feared she would become. But they were wrong. They split the fear, not the power. He was created to forget, she to remember. He was the silence, she the scream. "Wake up," she says. But Elias can't, because Elias is not real. He is the echo of trauma, the residual guilt of a system that tried to bury its sins, a simulation, a memory, a ghost written in flesh. A new doctor receives a letter, no return address. It reads, "She's still here, and she remembers everything." And deep in the forest, Black Hollow lights up once more. Thank you, dear dreamer, for staying this long. Sleep now, but know this. Not every silence is peaceful, and some dreams remember you back.